Hello, now I'm moving on to Module 2, which is going to be your second 5 weeks of infant toddler student teaching. So to begin, you'll want to make sure to take a look at the overview. And then this is the module where you're going to be starting your lesson plans. So I'm going to click here and give you some highlights. Your lesson plans are going to be done on a weekly basis during both modules 2 and 3. The focus of your lesson plans will be on a particular domain from the Ohio Early Learning and Development Standards. So I've set up links here, so you can actually click on the link to learn more about each domain, because each lesson plan will be focusing on a different domain each week. So for example, the first week will be your social emotional, then you'll move on to approaches toward learning. And on the OhioEarlyChildhood.org website, you can see just some different examples. You can also read more about topics related to each domain. So you might want, if you haven't been to the website, I would strongly suggest you become familiar with the domains before beginning your lesson plans. And one thing I do want to stress is that your lesson plans will be developed with your cooperating teacher. The topic is up to you and your cooperating teacher. As long as you're focusing on these domains, that's what myself and your university supervisor will be looking for. So to go back to Module 2, so you're going to have these lesson plans due. You'll turn them on in through Canvas each week. And if you, I'm going to move down here a little further. So you'll see you've got social emotional, approaches toward learning, physical well-being and motor development, cognitive development, and general knowledge, including math, science, and social studies, and then language and literacy development. And then at the end of Module 2, there's a discussion board. This discussion board, so you've already done your introduction discussion board, talked a little bit about what your placement site is like, the children, kind of an overall description. This discussion board is going to be focused on a little more detail. So you're going to talk about your relationships with the children and with the teachers, and just talk about your confidence, how you are doing your lesson plans. Is this more difficult than you envisioned, or is it coming a little more naturally? Any behavioral issues you might be observing in your class and how it was handled. And then describe a challenging situation you've encountered while student teaching and how you or even your cooperating teacher has addressed that. So this is the kind of, you're getting to the more of the bulk of your student teaching as far as you're going to gradually be taking over. And again, I expect all of you to be in regular communication with your supervisor and your cooperating teacher as to what their expectations are, because I don't want you to feel overwhelmed, but I do want you to gradually take on more responsibility, because at this point you're starting your lesson plans. And depending on how the classroom is set up, infant and toddlers are going to look a little different than, for example, a preschool classroom. So your lesson plans may vary depending on the type of program you are placed in. But again, as long as you're working closely with your cooperating teacher and your university supervisor, you'll be in good shape.